So we have launched the latest issue of Cricket Fanatics magazine. It is the Women's World Cup edition, and Sune Lewis is on the front cover, and obviously being the captain on this particular tour, we thought that we'd give some insight into the World Cup, into the women's game, interviewed some of the coach, of course, the head coach of the Proteas women. We spoke to Sune Lewis, we spoke to um, the likes of Laura Wolfhard, Mignon Dupree, so many names, Shebnam Ishmael as well, that we spoke to in this particular magazine. We're going to speak to you about the thought process behind why we started this. We're going to chat about what's in the actual magazine, what you can find, and why you should go and download the latest issue. Before we get going, before we get started, if you're new to this channel and you haven't quite yet, please click subscribe. Please click that notification bell for all future videos as well. So smash the like button, comment and share. Let's get straight into today's content. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Cricket Fanatics magazine. This is your daily show. I'm your host, Khalid, and this is my co-host, Aditya. Today, we're going to be chatting about the latest issue of Cricket Fanatics magazine. And it is very important that we do so because it's a very important issue to all of us. We really wanted to try and give the woman coverage and focus on this particular issue alone to make sure that we give the women the same amount of treatment that we gave the men when it comes to a World Cup edition. Now, we were talking about in fact, just to think about the thought process behind coming up with these editions in the first place. The reason I wanted to do editions and split it up into different types of edition is because I want to give full, complete coverage um, to specific minorities within cricket as well. Now, the women's game is grown without us. We just want to try to do our part, of course, in it, in women's cricket, and try to give as many players opportunities to showcase this or to tell their stories, because that's what it's all about. So, in this issue specifically, because things changed so close to the travel time of when the Proteas woman left, we know that the captain changed, of course, because Donovan Nekek, unfortunately, was injured, which is a massive blow for me because I was also looking forward to maybe having her on the front cover and chatting to her, of course. Um, but unfortunately, yeah, a freak accident happened to her and she ended up hurting herself, and now she's out of the tournament. So we went with Sune Lewis, who we're going to interview anyway in the magazine, and we turned it into a front cover feature. When the news broke, it was the perfect idea for us to go with Sune on this particular venture, because it's a new venture she's going on, and it's a new venture we're going on by promoting this. So we thought everything this worked out perfectly from that perspective. So yeah, there are some people that we wanted to feature that we didn't get a chance to, because we only could get a certain amount of people in time, in obviously get all the interviews and get as many interviews as possible that we could get, because we wanted to get player um, interviews and get a nice range of different types of players. Of course, I wanted to get older players, more experienced players, obviously middle tier, and then maybe and then as well as younger players, to have a conversation with them and get an understanding from different viewpoints, as well as the coach himself. So we've got Hilton Moring in this particular issue as well. Aditya did the Mignon Dupree Q&A. We've got a Laura Wolfhard feature because we wanted to get some insight into that. Majority of the times, I really wanted to get Marazan Cup into this issue, and unfortunately, we couldn't get a feature on her in this issue. But we will try to get a feature on in a future very soon, so that we can obviously put that up on the website, etc., and give it a lot of promotion and eyes. But ultimately, I'm very proud of this issue, proud of everybody involved. A lot of good work was done on this issue, and a lot of hours and hours of hard work to get this right. Because remember, the women are they also left after the West Indies series. They left straight to New Zealand, so there was obviously a massive time difference. So to get these interviews, we fought really hard to get it, and we're very proud of what we came up with. So to this give you guys an indication, this is the front cover of the magazine, so that you guys can have a look. Um, we're very excited about this, and we back the woman 100%. But Aditya, let's talk to you. Let's get your thought process. What's your thought process on the magazine? What was it like to to hear what Mignon Utopia also had to say?
Well, first off, well done to you for putting in all the work. You deserve a lot of rest, and well done to everyone who contributed to the magazine. It's a phenomenal piece, so professionally done, and I hope a lot of people read it because the women certainly deserve all the adulation that's coming their way, and this is our way of showing that we're totally behind them and back them to the hilt in their quest to win the World Cup. Uh, Mignon Dupri has always been a fascinating cricketer, because she's had so much experience, playing for South Africa as well as in the overseas leagues. She's a former captain, wicketkeeper batter, and a wealth of experience to fall back on. And a large part of the reason why I felt like the Q&A format was the ideal way to present everything that Mignon had to say was because there are certain lessons that she talks about that she's learned from participation in previous tournaments, or certain certain skills that she tries to hone in on a regular basis, particularly to cope with pressure, like visualization or analyzing opposition, planning, making notes. And these are things that I felt like would have been perhaps a little bit filtered, through a regular piece, which is I felt like that content deserves to be in the Q&A format. But it was a pleasure. I think she's provided so much valuable insight, and we get a complete sense of her relationship with Sune, and how she contributes on the field, the sort of work that she's put in through overseas leagues and so on. So it was a great time.
I mean, talking about Sune, we put it on the front cover, of course. Now, some people might be a little bit confused, but Keenan did an initial feature with her for the cover story, and I interviewed her separately for the video interview that we normally give you guys to launch the magazine. So we both had different conversations. So Keenan needs to get a lot of credit as well for the story that was written in the magazine, because that is a separate interview to the one that I did with the player. My interview with the player is on the channel. You can go look at it. It was premiered earlier today, around about 2:15, I think it was. So you can go look on this channel to find that. But I really enjoyed chatting to Sune. The thing that stood out to me is the fact that she's taking such a massive responsibility on her shoulders after Dane got injured, because we know that what a big part to this team Dane is. And to me, for so long, she's been an inspiration, for the way that she's handled the pressure, handled the expectations, and even handled some of the doubters that have been speaking about women cricket over the last year. She's had to captain this team from a young age, and really was one of the spearheads of the revolution in cricket in South Africa from a woman's perspective. Now, yes, the ones that were putting in the hours and the time right at the beginning, when nobody was watching and nobody was putting effort in and nobody was trying to cover the sport, those are the people that were the pioneers, obviously, of this for the future. They were the ones that really, they, how can I say, they are stalwarts of the game. They put this game in a good light and that's how things obviously spread further and further, and it grew and grew consistently over time. But Dane took it to the next level, took this team to the next level as a leader and as a player, as a young captain, and everything that she did for this team. And then we heard what Sune spoke about her as well, from Dane's perspective as well, speaking about what she learned from her leadership, and how their leadership actually coincides with each other. It actually complements each other. So it's nice to see that transferal, and that even though there was such a massive loss to certain players, Lazali didn't play in the West Indies. We didn't have Marazan Cup. And we also didn't have Dane Fenikek, and yet they still managed to pull off an amazing win under difficult circumstances, coming back after losing. So it gives us some nice insight from a player's perspective and mindset. Then Ongama's Hilton Moreng interview was excellent. It gave us a nice view from the coach. It gave us a nice view of his mentality and what he thinks of the ladies. So please go look at that. But Tasman Brits also spoke, who's a kind of a newbie in the team. It was important that we got one of the newer generational players into the side and get their view on what they thought, and how what the culture is like in the team, etc. But also we needed to get Ismail in the interview. Someone that we've been trying to get in touch with for quite some time now, to get her in some sort of format, and we got a feature from her. Thanks to Bai for that. And we got to hear her thought process, because what a winning mentality she has. And like I said, we would have loved to interview a lot more. I would have loved to chat to Maras and Cup as well. If there was enough time for us to be able to chat to more people, more players, we would have. This was the best way for us to get a balanced view, basically, on everything. There was an interview and a Q&A that never made it yet, and that was from Lefty. And we were hoping that we will get that very soon and be able to put that on the website very, very soon. So as a almost like a promo to this magazine, so that you guys can read more and find out more. So yeah, I was very happy about it. There's also the all women's podcast, the Offside Maidens, made their comeback, and it fitted perfectly with the theme of this magazine. And that's their first show back. It's in the magazine as well, so that's a great way to announce your comeback to to the shows and the podcasts. Aditya, the Women's World Cup. Let's just talk about that briefly. How do you expect South Africa to fare in this World Cup? I mean, it's in New Zealand. It's on wickets that we're hoping that are going to suit South Africa. There's a nice balance to the team. I mean, we have to back them all the way. Number two side in the world.
Yes, definitely. And uh, as everyone will see through this magazine, all the right messages are coming through. Like Sune says categorically that it is challenging to work without a quality player like Dane. And but there have been times when South Africa has won without having a lot of big name players. So they have that confidence, and it will serve them well. But very importantly, I was quite impressed with Helton Moreng's work as coach. In which he said that he has a couple of priorities. One is role clarity is important. He wants to ensure that the skills players develop fit in within that team requirement. And the other thing is he wanted to equip players to think on their feet while they're playing out on the field. And that's so important, right? Because we often talk about captaincy, where your captain has a paper in his pocket and is getting the job done in that manner, and there's no right or wrong there. But I really like the idea of a coach explicitly stating that he wants to equip his players to think on their feet while they are playing. We don't hear that a lot. So all the right messages are coming through, and it seems like the team is in good headspace. Not to mention that they did do well during previous World Cup in New Zealand. So yeah, South Africa should definitely back their team
Yeah.
to go the distance.
Yeah, I mean, heartbreak for the women in previous World Cups. I mean, obviously losing to the host England in 2017, it was heartbreaking to lose in the semi-final, and then losing the T20 World Cup semi-final in the manner that they did, even though they put in an excellent performance. The rain completely stuffed them around. I mean, uh, they restricted Australia to quite a decent total, but with the rain, the reduction of the overs, etc., the ratio between runs and needed and run and balls had, it was a lot more pressure than what it would have been with the normal target that was set. So, yeah, very unlucky from a woman's perspective in previous World Cups, and there was a lot of chat throughout this magazine about how that's going to fuel them mentally and how it's going to fuel them from a team environment perspective. I think a lot of people, even the men's team, can really take notes and lessons from the way this ladies' team has been run. Because with minimum support, compare, like if you talk about support, I'm talking about like exposure, I'm talking about media support, I'm talking about even financial support from CSA and themselves, compared to what the men get. I mean, for the women to perform the way they do, I mean, a lot of the players coming through the system, they don't get paid. They're not on contracts. So for them to make it to the Proteas side and play with all this passion and show the feeling that they feel. I mean, sometimes they're playing in stadiums where there aren't a lot of people. Sometimes their games are not broadcasted to hundreds and millions of people, but they still put in our effort. They still play with their hearts on their sleeves. They play for the badge, the passion that they show. It's very, very impressive, and it's heartwarming as well. But let me just have a look at what's happening in the comment section. Werner saying, well done. This month's magazine, gents. Plus one, says Mitchell Wong. Great one. It looks good to get to know a lot more about the girls. Time to forget about Dane. This is the best chance for Ismail to show her potential. I think she's shown her potential already. Many, many times before. I think this is the opportunity for her to finally get what she deserves, maybe, and lead a team to maybe a World Cup win. Which four teams do you guys seeing in the semis? You have to go with the big ones. Australia have won so many World Cups already. You have to put them in the mix. You have to put the hosts, New Zealand, in the mix. England and South Africa.
England.
England and South Africa, but your India is so it's not like India, West Indies, and the rest of the women's teams are not far that are far behind. I think it's going to be a very tough tournament. Um, the women are, I feel that the teams are a lot closer than the men's when it comes to that. From number 4 to number 8, for example, 11 or 10. Like when you're talking about the different types of teams that are playing, I don't know exactly how many are in the tournament. I was just spitballing numbers there. It's it's not actually about the ranking. They beat India in India, and the last series without key players against West Indies, that looks pretty good. It's the manner in which they did things. Uh, it's the it's the way in which they managed to continue to grow and improve and put themselves under pressure. It was a specific thing that I mentioned to Suna in our exclusive, is that she mentioned it in her interview against the West Indies. They won the toss and surprisingly chose um, to bat first because they wanted to put themselves in a situation of where they had to defend a total. And they thought that maybe was one of their weaknesses, and they wanted to put themselves under pressure, and then they ended up doing it. So I thought that was very brave, and that's what I really appreciate. And from the women's side and the women's setup and the minds behind it is that they are not afraid to put themselves under pressure so that they can learn and grow from it. There's no desperation coming out of the camp of having to win every single game with that mindset. It's about the approach to still believe that you can win and still put yourself under pressure so that you can learn something from the match for the World Cup. I think that's an extraordinary mindset to have.
And without a doubt, it's um, there's a certain clarity that I see in in the Proteas, in the way that they're thinking about the World Cup. And it it's not like they're all saying the same thing, but you can sense that individually and collectively as a team, they have a plan for for how they're going to play in this World Cup, and that's quite heartening because we keep talking about process versus outcome, and obviously the outcome is not in our control. Oppositions are also there to win, but the process looks like it's in good shape, and I hope it brings them a lot of success.
Yeah, me too. So just to give you guys a quick indication of if I have it still available to me, um, see if I can find it. Sorry about the opera that you're hearing in the background. My parents are watching TV. Um, quite loudly, to be fair. Uh, so I just wanted to show you guys quickly to let you guys know what the squad is. So just to put it up, because there was a change, Annika Bosch obviously getting injured, so Andy Stein coming in, but Nadine de Klerk and Rezibe is also, they're all traveling reserves, so they are with, but they're not in the main squad. But Sune and Chloe, vice captain. Chloe, Sune is captain. Yabonga Kaka, she's going to play a massive role in this, of course. Laura Goodall coming really nicely along. She's constantly improving every single game. You can see her in her technique and her approach. Laura Wolfart, there's enough said about her. There's enough said about Lazal Lee. There's enough said about Marazan Cup. I think those are the key players. I mean, I picked out Marazan Cup as a key player in this particular issue, just to to highlight her so that we don't, so that you could see what the stats are, bowling and batting stats, etc. In this issue, I put a little image together because we know what Marazan's going to bring. We know what Lazal Lee is going to bring. They are clear key favorites for this World Cup with regards to performances for South Africa. They've been amazing for the last couple of years, and they continuously do that. We've got Masapata Klaas, we've got Mignon Dupree, we've got Mlaba, we've got Ishmael, we've got Jafter, we've got Brits, we've got Chetty, and we've got Sikukune Tumi, who was also mentioned in the interview. But yeah, a very good, nice, balanced side. And I think that this women's team, I wish them all the luck. And I hope that they will perform the way we hope they can. But other than that, they continuously make us proud. And we wanted to show that by doing this particular issue. But yeah, any last words you want to say, Aditya, before we say bye to the audience and the fans?
Well, this team has serious potential, and they really can go all the way. They're quite keen on doing that, and it's it reflects in what Pignon Dupree said about the hurt and pain that it causes to be so close and yet so far when you lose heartbreakingly in the semi. So yeah, good luck to them, and I hope they come out with flying colors.
So, guys, thanks a lot for watching. Thanks a lot for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to obviously subscribe to Cricket Fanatics Magazine monthly. The link is in the description. Every single issue is 100% free, straight to your inbox every single month. So go ahead and find that in the description. But also subscribe to this channel and click that notification bell for all future videos. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. We'll be back again with another daily show again tomorrow. But stay tuned and please take your time out tonight and read the content, watch the content that we have provided for you guys. We put a lot of effort in, everybody put a lot of effort in for this particular issue. So please go ahead and support us by downloading the latest issue of the magazine. Take care, everybody, and enjoy the rest of your evening.